E3's right around the corner, which means there's a glimmer of hope to hear news or see gameplay footage of NBA 2K17 there. And when I say there's a glimmer of hope before you start typing that comment, I mean just as much hope as Kwame Brown getting back into the league, signing a max contract with a certain team, winning a three-peat, being the star player with that certain team, getting his jersey retired, and becoming the next Michael Jordan. Like that's the glimmer of hope we're talking about. Essentially, no hope whatsoever. But it's nice to speculate your opinions, your suggestions, and your predictions on what will be going on in NBA 2K17, especially now, this time of the year is perfect for developers to see big 2K YouTubers wishlist and try to improve on that. Of course, it's 2K we're talking about, so they probably won't take notes when they should, but I digress. So without further ado, here is my wish list for NBA 2K17. We can start off with the most fixable game mode in my opinion, and that is Play Now Online. Essentially, it's a quick match online with 3 tiers of teams. Number 1 tier is the best tier, number 2 is the second best, and number 3 is the worst. I like what they did. Hopefully they bring that back in 2K17 because it was a really good concept. It doesn't stop the people from picking the top tiers, but it gives incentive to pick some of the lower tiers to try to get that extra win if you beat a top tier. In 2K16, however, the tiers weren't always balanced. At times, certain teams that were too good were in the lower tiers and bad teams were in the top tiers, and it just felt wonky and all over the place. I feel like in 2K17 they should keep that to the records during the season. Before and after the season they could adjust it however they want to, but during the season they could just simply do the records of teams. I mean, it's nothing major, it's just a little pet peeve of mine because I remember playing Play Now Online. I played a few matches here and there, and some of the teams, some of the bad teams were ranked pretty high and some of the good teams were ranked pretty low. So staying in the Play Now Online realm, as you progress in the Play Now Online, you get to use historic teams. And speaking of historic teams, each and every single year, for the most part, 2K does publicity stunts where they advertise throwback teams such as the Steve Nash's Phoenix Suns, KG's Minnesota Timberwolves, examples right there. And in 2K17, they'll most likely add some more teams. Now, I know there's some contract reasons why Charles Barkley isn't in the game, Chris Webber isn't in the game, and a few other players aren't in the game. And this has nothing to do with improving the game, but it's something that I would love to see, and that is seeing a Brandon Roy-led Blazers team. I know for a fact I can't be the only one that wants to see this. You know, the 08 LaMarcus Aldridge, Brandon Roy, Nick Batum, Greg Oden, who else? Rudy Fernandez, Sergio Rodriguez. Like, this team was nice, a nice roster right here, and I really hope that they're able to bring this team and the majority of people in it in 2K17. Maybe even a New Jersey Nets team with Jason Kidd leading the point, Richard Jefferson, Kenyon Martin, etc. I would love to see either of these two teams and many more teams if they could get the contracts for certain players like Reggie Miller or something along those lines. That'd be great to see. But let me know in the comment section below what teams you want to see. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to add more in 2K17. It just seems like they're adding new teams every single year at this point. Moving on to my GM and my league, I'm going to combine both of these together because, well, in 2K13, this was called Association. I'm not going to lie, I kind of miss those days, you know. My league in 2K16 has a feature where there's 3 tabs under my league when you're trying to start a my league up. There is the franchise mode, there's the season mode, and then there's the online mode. I wish that they would just combine these two together, and then the 4th tab could possibly be a My GM mode, even though if My GM and My League are very, very similar. One of them just has longer loading screens, and essentially your My Player is the GM, and they just constantly harass you with unimportant little cutscenes here and there. And looking at it at a YouTube perspective, I'm not sure how people actually play this game mode, but everyone that plays My GM and posts it to YouTube isn't actually playing My GM. They're playing My League, considering the cutscenes aren't there and the load screens are a lot faster. You get through seasons a lot quicker than you ever could in My GM because the loading. Although the load screens are pretty bad in NBA 2K, it's a lot better in My League than it is in My GM, and I just kind of miss Association. Whether they decide to rename it that or not, I feel like 2K doesn't need every game mode in the game to have My in front of it. I understand that they're trying to make it your game mode, but at the end of the day, it's their game mode, considering you're the guy buying microtransaction VC for the game and essentially all game modes. And that's the biggest complaint with this game mode, you know. The trades are kind of wonky at times. I feel like you could trade certain bad players for certain top tier players that would never happen in real life. I feel like they could probably improve on the trade finders. But other than that, like, it's just the loading screens that take extremely long and ruin the experience for me. On to my team next. This is probably one of the most controversial game modes, considering this is a thing that's popping on YouTube in the 2K community. It's a thing that keeps drawing people back to the game. I don't play my team. I'll probably play it in 2K17 to start off, but my team is the pay-to-win game mode, and although people don't like to agree with that, that's exactly what it is. You open packs, you try to get the best players possible. Obviously, you could grind and spend all your time to get Diamond Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The majority of people, especially all the YouTubers set high standards for my team. They do 100 million thousand pack opening. They do 100 million thousand wagers. They promote shady MT websites that ruin the game mode. It ruins the game mode because it absolutely destroys the auction house. And some may say, oh, it's the packs. It's the packs that ruin the auction house. That is true. But you're either spending actual money to the company of 2K, or you're spending actual money to these websites that offer you MT. You're still opening packs, you're still spending money on packs to make the auction house crash. I don't know how 2K devs feel about this, or the 2K community managers feel about this, but in 2K17, if I was them, I'd start cracking down on some of these MT websites that absolutely steal money away from the game that they're making. I know people say VC is expensive, and that's absolutely correct. But what the majority of people are doing by using these offhand websites is they're not promoting the game. An analogy for this would be like, oh, Drake just released an album. Am I going to buy it, or am I going to illegally download it? I think I'll illegally download it because it's faster than actually buying it, right? And at the same time, it's kind of hard not to blame these dudes that are buying MT off these websites, considering 2K releases cards almost every week. They expect people to continue to open up packs, and that's how they get the majority of their money. It's kind of like gambling, you know. Young kids are able to gamble in 2K. Oh, should I use my mom's credit card to open up this pack today? What if I get a diamond? Let me do it anyways. Hopefully she won't mind. Not to mention, that's not even the worst part. The worst part about my team, besides having to pay to win, is the organization. You know, thankfully, 2K16's organization is a lot better than previous years with the whole Ruby cards, Emerald cards, Sapphire cards. It's a lot better than that. At the same time, it's not. You know, 2K could easily limit the amount of cards they add if they just make every single card a dynamic card where the overall changes every week or so. I feel like they could get rid of the Amethyst card altogether. They could have a Bronze, Silver, Gold, and Diamond. Have essentially all the cards be dynamic that are currently in the NBA. Moments cards are an amazing concept in my opinion. What took away from these moment cards was the playoff moment cards. They had no classification when searching for them in the auction house, and the ratings in my opinion for these playoff moments cards were extremely skewed. Just something to work on, you know, because there's a lot of unnecessary cards in my opinion in 2K16's my team compared to previous years. But it's something they can improve on hopefully in 2K17, considering a lot of people call these cards as content. So if they want to improve this content, they'd limit it and organize it a lot better, because right now it's a whole mess in my opinion. Remove the gauntlet and add some type of game mode called pack and play. YouTubers love that, and I'm pretty sure viewers love that as well. You know, picking a random team and you're set with that random team to go up against another person using their random team. Wouldn't that be awesome? Just for fun, you know, you don't have to wager anything or put anything on the line. You're just picking a random team and seeing if you could beat another player with a random team as well, for people who don't have a lot of MT or people that are just getting into the game. Now moving on to the game modes that I know little about, and that is the whole My Career, My Park, and Pro-Am community. I stay away from Park considering they have their own thing going on there, and it's not something that I would want to ever get into. Maybe play Park for fun, but Park community takes the game seriously, and it's good for them, but as an outsider looking in, it makes me want to stay as far as possible away from those guys. A lot of people complained about the My Career cutscenes. They might have some more in 2K17 considering They've been having them in all Xbox One and PlayStation 4 versions of the game. It adds a little bit more depth to the game mode, but at the end of the day, after like season 1, all the cutscenes are over, and it's just you playing My Career games. So take that as you please. Now, Pro-Am, in my opinion, is one of the nicest game modes of these 3 subgenre games where you use your created player. I never got into 2K's crew mode back in the day, but I feel like Pro-Am does an extremely amazing job in recreating crew and making it a whole lot better, being able to customize your arena, your jerseys, everything. You customize essentially everything. And going away from Pro-Am and My Career and My Park, the customization, I feel like they could step up the customization next year in 2K17, allowing you to duplicate layers, saving gamer tags or PSN IDs of people that you want to save in order to check out the stuff that they frequently upload instead of having to continue to search up their name whenever you place a layer down. And this could be for the better or worse, but adding more than just 10 layers on jerseys and adding a little bit more customizations when it comes to the courts. You know how Cleveland has that city of Cleveland skyline on the side? That'd be cool if you could add something like that to the arenas that you design as well. Overall, I think I covered the majority of game modes pretty briefly, and hopefully they're able to add some of this stuff or make things better. You know, I didn't go that much into the gameplay, considering the gameplay is a whole nother beast, and I might make another video in the future talking about the gameplay, but fingers crossed that 2K17 is the best possible 2K game released. I'm sure as a fan and a person who plays 2K, you want that every single year, the best possible product available. Sometimes you get what you want, sometimes not so much. So I'm hoping this wish list just gets my thoughts out there to the internet, and hopefully you guys like them. Let me know if you disagree with them, or let me know how you feel that they should improve the game in the comment section below as well. But with that said, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.